that we're currently involved in to update the GIS system with missing parcel lines. We started that a few months ago, and working with the data that's already in place here in the county from the recorder's office, and we attempted to find the actual paper documents that support those. We're really only able to find about the last year or so's worth of those. So it put us in a position to try to figure out how could we most efficiently save you guys the most money, get those things up to speed. One of the things that we did find with the last year's worth of paper documents that is kind of interesting for you, and a real impetus to continue and make sure that this gets done. The paper documents that we have, there are about 120 or so splits in between what we took in January and what you have left. We are estimating about 120. Those are dependent upon splits that have been done in years past and yet not recorded in the system. And by doing the research in those, we think we're only able to place about 30% of those. 70% or so of those current splits that are waiting to be put in are dependent upon information that's not in the system now. So basically that means you're digging a 70% bigger hole every year with the splits that continue to come in as people sell pieces of property. They're not able to be recorded in the GIS because they're dependent on data that's not in there now. So that's the process we're doing, is how do we get caught back up with all that data from years past that isn't in there. So with the recorder's documents, to give you just some basic figures, there were about 106,000 individual documents that were scanned and digitally recorded in that system. And we were able to, out of that 106,000, by using document type and some other information, narrow those down to about 27,000 documents that specifically relate to these land transfers and splits. And those are the ones that we've been investigating to determine within those which ones of those may give us the background information to perform the approximately 2,700 outstanding splits that are still remaining in the system. So we've been working for over a couple of months now to try to find that, partially because of the change to new 18-digit numbers. We had old parcel numbers, new parcel numbers, and those parcel numbers weren't being recorded in the document index, so that the computer could quickly find it by parcel number. So we've been doing some research based on what information is there. We've done some optical character recognition of the actual scanned documents to try to find anything we could find to help us determine if one of those scans actually supports one of these splits that we need to catch up. Initially, it really wasn't looking very good, and we did several types of scans, and we were afraid at one point that we would only be able to find through those methods between 5 and 15% of the documents that we needed. Well, we've continued to work and find different ways to analyze the data. As of yesterday, the last time I talked to our folks who continue to work on that, we believe now that we're able to find between 50 and 60% of the documents that we need through this digital analysis process. So what that means is that it saves, we were afraid that we were going to have to take that 85% that we weren't finding and actually physically come down and look in the books, deed books and those kind of things, and find them. Well, now that we're up to 50 to 60%, that reduces that number greatly. What we propose to do, and I've spent some time speaking with Marilyn about the process too, and as you guys know, she's very, very well familiar with the land information management, and she's been very helpful in looking at what we're doing, confirming that we're moving in the right direction and giving us some advice as to how we proceed. Really what we want to do is be able to get you guys caught up as quickly as possible and for the least amount of money. I think you guys, we've talked, it's something that just eventually is going to have to get done. And we're digging a 70% bigger hole every year. It's just going to continue to grow and be more expensive the longer it takes. So we're trying to get it done as quickly as we can and as inexpensively as we can.